Hello, Prosperous Yoga teachers. Wanted to hop in here today and just say hi and wanted to welcome to the group some of our new members. We've had a lot of new members joining lately, and I love to see that. Love to see everybody who wants to grow their yoga business through more private clients. And, what I want to talk about today, I just got off the phone with one of our clients in the Prosperous Yoga Teacher Training. And we were addressing a really, really common issue. And it's actually the number one thing that you can focus on in all of business. And this is the mindset of success. So folks that are successful for a reason. And that reason is because they know how to think. They know how to learn how to be successful. So I'm going to share with you today a really simple equation for success, for getting the results that you want. So you've probably noticed in the past, or even in the present, that oftentimes you're not getting the results that you want, right? So maybe you're thinking, well, I want to grow my business. I want more private clients. I want to be making more income. I want to be impacting more lives. But oftentimes you might just get stuck maybe behind your computer, maybe surfing the web or on social media, and you're just not sure what to do to be able to create those results, right? So then you just kind of get stuck. You can maybe get into some self-judgment, maybe some kind of like shame spiral or something around like, well, I'm not good enough, I don't know what I'm doing, et cetera, et cetera. And that never leads to a really positive place, right? Because we just want to be out there helping people. So, having negative thoughts towards yourself is never going to help us to do that. So I want to share with you a really simple hack, a mindset hack for being able to create more results. And this is for anything that you do, not just your business, but anything, okay? So I'm going to preface this by saying, I want you to think about what great performers do. So when I say great performers, it can be anybody from, a musician to an athlete, anyone who's actually, getting out there and performing something. And one of the key things that they do is they actually see something in their mind before they physically take action and do it, all right? One of the classic examples of this is Jerry Rice. He was one of the best football players of all time, wide receiver. And he would always, in every practice, and he did this even from the very first season that he was drafted as a rookie, when he caught the ball in practice, he would visualize that he was scoring a touchdown. And then he would as soon as he caught the ball, he would run all the way to the end zone. So all of his teammates thought he was crazy. This is a rookie coming onto the field, and every time he caught just a routine ball, he had it in his mind that he was going to score a touchdown. And what he would do then is he would run all the way to the end zone. People thought he was crazy, and then eventually it started to catch on because, of course, he started to get results on the field. He started scoring touchdowns, so then everybody started doing it. Well, what happened was he actually became, like one of the best receivers of all time, scored the most touchdowns of all time, and that all came from his mindset, in his mind, that I'm going to score a touchdown every time I touch the ball. That's going to happen, right? So he was visualizing it first, and then he would do it, right? So another great example, a different athlete, Michael Phelps. You've heard of Michael Phelps, the swimmer. Most gold medals of all time for, I think I'm right by saying most gold medals of all time for any Olympic athlete. And he had the same mental practice every day where he would visualize before he even got into the pool. He would visualize each stroke that he was going to take while he was swimming. He would visualize even the day before, he would visualize like how he was going to tie his shoes, untie his shoes, even his routine before he got into the pool. He would always see the success that he was going to have before it even happened, so that he was creating the success in his mind before he actually did the thing, okay? So this idea of visualizing success is so important. Visualizing what you're actually going to create in the world, what you're going to do, is so important, because here's the simple, remember I told you there's a simple formula here? The simple formula is thoughts plus actions equal results. So that's the simple, like if you think of it like a mathematical formula, that's really what it is. It's 3 parts. Thoughts plus actions equal results, all right? And how you think about things, remember this, how you think about things drastically affects the actions that you take, okay? And then the results that you get are extremely affected by the actions that you take, right? It makes sense, right? And so here's the thing. The most important part of the whole equation is our thoughts. And it's oftentimes the part that is left out. It's the part that we don't give enough attention to. A lot of times people say, well, I have that covered. I meditate. I have, personal practice that I do. And I can tell you, myself, I've been meditating for 15 years. And I was meditating a lot before I found any success in business. So meditation in itself is not the answer to success. You have to have some intentionality around the way that you're thinking, intentionality towards the way that you want to act and the results that you want to get, all right? So how do thoughts affect the actions that we take, and how does that affect the results that we get? Let me give you an example. So here's the deal. We tend to validate our beliefs at all times. So whatever we believe to be true, we're always looking for proof. We're always looking around, trying to validate our beliefs to make them true, all right? Because we want to have a sense of security. We want to have a sense of, I understand what's going on in this world, right? This crazy world. We're always trying to make meaning of things. We always want to make meaning of everything. It's just what the mind does. So whatever your belief is, you're going to look for proof. You're going to try to validate that and make it true, right? And keep it true. So think about how that shows up in your life. Think about, one way that we do that is with our self-confidence or, our abilities. And we might think, well, I'm really good at this one thing. And then we'll find ways that that's true. We'll find ways to make it true. Well, I'm good at this because of A, B, and C, right? And we might think I'm not good at something else. And we constantly look for ways to make that true. In a mindset, from a mindset perspective, it's very easy to see folks who are in a growth mindset or expansion or abundance, folks that are creating new things, that have, the ability to basically create new things in their life, whether it's growing a business or creating a product or, even like, from a self-care perspective, like creating a healthy routine for themselves. It's very easy to see those folks versus folks that are in scarcity and a poverty mindset where they're not able to create new things. And the difference is, you can put 2 people in the same room or 2 people in the same building or the same neighborhood, and one person can find all of the reasons why that area is so great, right? They might be looking around, they might be thinking, oh yeah, like this neighborhood is so great because there's, sidewalks and there's stop signs, and there's plenty of, room in the road, and, there's all these great houses with, wonderful, like so many levels and like so many rooms, and the list can go on and on, all right? Somebody who's in a growth mindset, expansion, abundance, about how great that area is. The same exact area, nothing has changed externally, same exact neighborhood. You can put somebody with scarcity mindset in that neighborhood, and what they're going to do is they're going to find everything that's wrong with that neighborhood, right? They're going to say, wow, there's too many sidewalks. There's too many stop signs. These houses have too many levels. There's too many rooms. It's just overcrowded, and I don't want it to be that way, right? So that's the difference in the way of thinking between somebody with a growth mindset, expansion, abundance, and somebody with that scarcity mindset, right? So, what's the natural, logical conclusion that's going to lead, what's the next step, right? So, if we go back to the equation that I shared, which is thoughts plus actions equal results, right? What's the next logical step? And hello, Elizabeth. Thanks for joining. Hello, Anju. I hope you said your name correctly. Really happy to see you on here. But what's the next logical step to that way of thinking, right? Is what you're going to do is you're going to take action on that, right? So if I'm thinking that this is a good place and I want to be here, I'm going to take action to do some positive things in that area. And then that's going to lead to specific results, right? And if I think negatively about something, I'm going to take action against that thing, and it's going to stop any results from happening. So let's apply this to business. How can that work in your business and even in your marketing, right? It's kind of crazy, so I'm approaching it, I'm telling you guys, how this works logically, but there's also an energetic piece here. And this is something that I see in my own business. It's something I see with my clients' businesses, where you can literally, for example, you might send out an email to your mailing list, and the thought that you have in your mind around, basically around what you want to create with that email is going to directly affect the results, okay? So the way that you think really directly affects your results. And for example, in that email, you might be thinking, well, I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to be one of those salesy marketing people that's sending out an email that might bother people. What do you think the results are going to be when you send that email out? Well, I can tell you, they're not going to be nearly as good. Oftentimes, it'll be crickets. You won't get any response because energetically, you're actually putting that into the email. You're energetically putting that into your writing. You're putting it into what you're putting out there into the universe, right? And so it's going to come back with, people are not going to be very interested. They're not going to be too excited that you're reaching out to them because that's the energy that you're coming from. That's the thought process. How does it change if the thought is, I cannot wait to serve and help people. I cannot wait to help others. And I want everybody to know the problems that I solve. I want everybody to know how much I can benefit them with my yoga offering, right? That is a much different energy, and it goes into your writing. It goes into the email. You're going to get a much better response. The same thing goes if you're talking to people in that next phase where they're actually, you're talking to them about enrolling them into your program, and they might want to sign up for your stuff, for your offers, and they might want to work with you. Same exact thing happens there. It's the energy. It's really a transference of energy, okay? So remember this simple equation. Thoughts plus actions equal results, all right? And it's fail-proof. This is based on the law of congruence, all right? This is something that Google operates on, this law of congruence, which basically means it's like when you type something into Google. It's why Google is so successful, because their algorithm really leads to congruence. And what I mean by congruence is when you type something into Google, the search results that you get are really, really closely related to what you typed in. And then when you click on that link, the website that you go to is really, really closely related to the thing that you searched for. All right? So back in the day, the reason the other search engines didn't really make it, they didn't really kind of have the success that Google had, was because their algorithm was not congruent. It didn't have the level of congruence. When you typed something in, you didn't get out of it what you put into it. It's like it didn't lead to all the website results that you wanted, because all you're trying to do is solve a problem, right? You type something in, you want to get some answers, you want to get some results. So that's the law of congruence. The law of congruence basically says, from the very beginning, you want everything to be going, staying the same way, all the way to the end, all right? So how can I want you to think about how you can implement this into your business. I want you to think about how you can implement this into your marketing, and especially how you can up-level your mindset around what's possible. So think about what's possible in your business. You're only limited by what you think. You're only limited by what you think, right? So Henry Ford once famously said that whether you think you can do it or you don't think you can do it, you're right. Whether you think you can do something or you don't think you can do it, you're right. What does he mean by that? I think it's pretty obvious, but it's basically, if you think you can do it, you're going to take actions towards doing it. And if you don't think you can do it, you're going to stop yourself dead in your tracks and you're not going to take those actions. So I bring this up because the call that I had today with a client was a lot around mindset. And we were talking specifically around failure and failure as a tool for learning and ultimately failure as access to success. So if you have the thought that failure is bad, if you have the thought that, I don't want to fail, and that if I do something and it doesn't instantly bring the result that I want, then I'm going to avoid that, then guess what? You're going to avoid success. You're going to stop yourself from being successful every day because you're going to be avoiding the thing that leads to success, which is failure, because failure leads to learning. Okay, this is something that I talk about all the time. Failure, there is no failure, there's only learning. Okay? Makes sense, right? Does that make sense? I'm going to keep saying that. Does that make sense? Because I want to get some feedback. So if that makes sense to you, type in some comments below. Send me a message directly. I'd love to hear from you. How is this showing up directly in your life and in your business? Really, let me know. I want to know. How is it showing up? How does the way that you think influence the actions that you take? And how does those two things together, the thoughts that you have and the actions that you take, how does that influence the results that you're getting? So you can actually look at the results that you have right now. You can look at the results that you've been getting up to this point in your life. And I guarantee you can go back and you can look at the actions that you've taken and then the thoughts that you've had, and it will be 100% congruent with the results that you have currently. So if you're not getting the results that you want, all you have to do is go back and look at your actions and the way that you've been thinking. And you have to figure out, okay, the results that I want are not, they're not happening, right? So if the results that you want are not happening, you need to go back and figure out, how can I make my thoughts congruent with the results that I want? And how can I make then my actions congruent with the results that I want? So that might seem like really simple, or on the opposite end, it might seem really difficult. Might seem really complex. Well, it's not either of those things. All it takes is some really specific conditioning into your mind, into your daily life. You have to develop some routines around that. And that can be very hard to do on your own, right? So if that's something that you want to do, I'm going to invite you to reach out to me, reach out to our team, and I'd be happy to chat with you about how to develop that routine into your life and into your business so that you can start getting the results that you want, because chances are you want to get some better results in your business, whether that's monetarily or having greater impact or just doing more of what you're meant to do on this planet. I know personally, it's not really about the money, it's about really doing what I love. And I know that I'm doing what I love when I'm coaching people, when I'm directly helping people to grow their business. I am just like feeling it. I'm in my zone and I just feel alive. And so obviously a great byproduct of that is a good income. So think about what you really want and think about how you might not have been congruent in the past with what you really want. All right? I'm going to leave you with that today. And, please don't hesitate to reach out. Would love to talk to you. And as more, teaching and training tips and coaching tips come up for me, I'm going to hop back in here and share them. Right now, I don't have a regular time that I'm going to be, coming in here and sharing these things. It's just as the inspiration comes. But in the future, we will get more regular and we'll create some real, standardized times when I come in here to share these things. So in the meantime, look forward to hearing from you. Thank you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Namaste. It was great to see you today, and we'll continue the conversation soon. All right, so check your mind. Take care of your mind. The mindset is the most important thing. Mindset is 90% of the game. Strategy, 10%. We got plenty of strategies to bring in new clients. That part is easy. Honestly, that part is easy. The place where you're going to stop yourself is in your mind, is in your beliefs. All right? So whether you believe you can do it or not, you're right.